Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing the CSEC Office Administration May-June 2020 paper 1. This is going to be a two-part video series, so this is part 1 where we'll be covering the first 30 questions, and then in part 2 we'll be covering the other half of this paper. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So please let us get right into this paper. So the first question says, which of the following services is a function performed by the general office? A. Delivering goods. B. Manufacturing goods. C. Producing information. Or D. Designing new products. So if your answer is C, then you're correct. Producing information. Let's move on to question number 2. Matchbox Limited is structured so that each department has control over its own mail, typing, photocopying, and filing. This method is described as A. Functional, B. Centralized, C. Decentralized, or D. Divisionalized. What do you say would be your answer for this? Well, C. Decentralized. Let's move on to question number 3. In which of the following situations would the relationship between two employees be described as vertical? A. One is more senior than the other. B. Each has a similar status in the firm. C. One has been employed longer than the other. Or D. One position is more important than the other. The answer would be A. One is more senior than the other. Let's go to question 4 now. A clerk in a small organization feels that some improvements should be made to the filing system. What is the most appropriate action for him to take? A. Discuss his ideas with the supervisor. B. Make the changes he feels are necessary. C. Discuss his ideas with the general manager. D. Continue with the other system until he is asked, sorry, I said add older system until he is asked for an opinion. So the answer would be A. Discuss his ideas with the supervisor. Let's go to number 5. It says the science of fitting the workplace to meet the needs of employees is known as, we know this is a giveaway, B. Ergonomics. Let's move on to question 6. Which of the following is least likely to be considered when management is deciding on suitable office layouts? Is it A. Availability of space, B. Number of employees, C. Availability of financial resources, or D. Personal preferences of employees? So the answer would be D. Personal preferences of employees. Let's go to 7 now. Dissemination of information in any organization may be best described as A. Ensuring that information is safe. B. Collecting all information in the office. C. Distributing information to all departments. Or D. Sharing important information with the public. So we know it would be C. Distributing information to all departments. That word dissemination. 8 says, which of the following is not a characteristic of registered mail? So it means therefore that 3 are characteristics of registered mail, but 1 is not. Let's see how we best find that one. So is it A, offers proof of postage, B, facilitates safe delivery of mail, C, normally sent by second class mail, or D, offers compensation for loss or damage? So we know it would be C. That's the one that is not. All three, the other three are characteristic of a registered mail. Let's go on to question number 9. Which of the following pieces of computer hardware is an output device? Output now. So is it A, CPU, B, mouse, C, monitor, or D, the keyboard? So we know it would be C, monitor. Sensors. Which of the following pieces of equipment may be used for stamping mail? A, jogger, B, collator, C, duplicator, or D, franking machine? We know it would be D, franking machine. Let's go on to number 11. An application for the position of dispatch clerk was addressed to a company. To whom should the mail clerk forward this application? A, shipping supervisor, B, marketing manager, C, administrative officer, or D, human resource manager? So we know it is D, the human resource manager. So D would be the answer. 12 says, Mrs. Jones was selected for the position of receptionist of an engineering firm. On accepting the job, she was given a document outlining the work she was expected to perform. This document is called a job. Is it A, listing, B, evaluation, C, description, D, specification? If you said C, yes, that's correct. Description. Let's go on to question 30 now. It says a confidential letter addressed to the employer is received in a torn condition. The mail clerk should A, return the letter to the mail department, B, refuse to accept the envelope from the mail department, C, put the letter into a new envelope and deliver it by hand to the employer, or D, attach a note to the envelope and deliver it by hand to the employer. So we know it would be D. Let's go on to question number 14. It says an important document must be sent to an overseas customer via post office mail. The document should be sent by A, first class mail, B, second class mail, C, postal restante service, or D, standard mail service. All right, so we know this one would be A, the first class mail. 15 says, filing through the use of microfilming is valuable for the storage of A, official records, which are frequently used, B, passport-sized photographs of staff members, C, information which must be kept for many years, or D, customers' accounts from which statements are to be made. So we know it would be C, information which must be kept for many years. Microfilming, very important. Let's go to number 60 now. It says, this is a little bit dark, but just listen while I read it for you if you're not able to see it as clearly as possible. It is now 3 months since a graduate applied for a job at a large firm. The graduate received only a letter of acknowledgement. What action should the graduate take to indicate that he or she is still interested in the job? A, write another letter of application. B, write a letter to follow up on the application. C, telephone a friend who works with the firm. D, visit the company and ask to see the human resource manager. So we know that would be A, right? Am I right? Absolutely not. Write another letter of application. There's no need for that. But the correct answer would be D. Write a letter to follow up on the application. A, C, and D would not be appropriate. Okay, let's move on to question number 17. You are being interviewed for a job and no mention is made of promotional opportunities. Which of the following actions should be taken if you are interested in having such information? A. Ask about it before the close of the interview. B. Assume that promotion will be automatic. C. Visit the office and question the employees. D. Ask about it in a follow-up letter after the interview. So we know this would be A. Ask about it before the close of the interview. Let's go on to number 18 now. It says, which of the following situations would cause a file to be classified as inactive? A supplier now sells a wider range of goods. B, the organization has stopped buying from a particular supplier. C, a company with which the organization conducts business has changed its name. D, a company with which the organization conducts business has changed has changed its business address. Address. So we know this would be B. The organization has stopped buying from a particular supplier. So that would cause the file to be inactive. Let's go to question 19 now. Which of the following services would usually be offered to customers who have fixed deposit accounts at a commercial bank? 1, permission to write checks on the accounts. 2, withdrawals on demand with interest earned. 3, higher interest rate than those offered on savings account. So we know this would be B, 3 only. Once we know it's fixed, then the withdrawals on demands with interest earned. 20. The term cross-referencing refers to documents that are filed A as inactive, B as miscellaneous, C under the same headings, or D under different headings. We know once it's cross-referencing, we know it is D under different headings. Let's go to 21. What is the purpose of maintaining a reception register in an organization? A. Recording the number of persons who visit the organization. B. Identifying the firms which conduct business with the organization. C. Recording the names of persons who did not make an appointment. Or D. Locating the names of persons who attend the functions of the organization. So we know it would be A. Recording the number of persons who visit the organization. Now I must tell you that questions 22 to 25 are missing because this is how I actually got the past papers. So 22 to 25 is missing that page. But let's go to question 26. Some firms offer a program which aims to assist new employees in becoming familiar with their jobs. This program is referred to as A, an appraisal, B, an induction, C, a deployment, D, a recruitment. So we know it would be B, an induction. Let's go to 27. An ex officio committee member is one who A, is appointed by a majority vote, B, votes on behalf of an absent member, C, attends a meeting by virtue of a position, or D, manages the proceedings of the meeting. What would you say is your answer? Your answer? All right. I'm not going to tell you the answer for this. Please tell me the answer in the comment section below, and I'll respond to you and let you know if it's correct or not. Let's go to 28. Oh, I did this one. All right, anyway. Which of the following terms is used to describe a committee which has been set up to deal with a specific matter? Now, I think on the 2019 paper, I don't quite recall the year, but I made an error, and so I went and I put the correction in the comment section or in the description box. But for this one, we have A, ad hoc, B, central, C, general, D, administrative. We know it is A. It is ad hoc. Let's go to 29. Which of the following persons is responsible for approving and signing the minutes of a meeting? Is it A, the clerk, B, proxy, C, treasurer, or D, chairperson? So we know it is D, the chairperson. All right, let's go to our final question for this paper, 30. At a meeting on the 25th of November 2019, discussions were held concerning the appointment of a secretary. What document should be consulted to obtain the information that was discussed at the meeting so that follow-up action can be taken? A, the chairman's agenda. B, the notice of the meeting. C, the minutes of the meeting. D, the agenda for the meeting. So we know this would be C, the minutes of the meeting. So there you have it. We have completed part 1 of the CSEC May June 2020 Office Administration. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you know when part 2 is out. Thank you so much for watching.